Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I am IATF qualified auditor doing audit for the automotive sector for the last 18 years. I'm again back with a very interesting topic. What is the key difference between action priority, which is as per FMEA first edition, and RPN, which is as per the old edition of FMEA fourth edition. Now, when we talk about risk priority number or action priority, if you see in our day-to-day life, say for example, we are starting a particular day on a Monday morning, assume that we have got 5 different things to do. Now, how to prioritize that? Which thing is important? Even though we need to complete all the 5 things, but which thing we should do first, which thing should do later and after that. So we are doing all that every day. So that's exactly action priority and RPN. And if you see, there are many books which talks about it. Say for example, this particular book, Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy, it talks about this particular thing and how to prioritize that. Similarly, there's another one book, The One Thing, which again is talking about that which is the most important thing that we should focus so that all other things can be taken care of. Something similar is there with respect to RPN or action priority. So in this particular video, I'm going to talk about what is FMEA, what is a failure chain, what is severity, occurrence and detection, then what are the key difference between RPN, which is as per the old edition, and action priority, which is as per the latest edition. Then in the last, I'll be talking about the key challenges that industry is facing with respect to that. And in between, I'll be also talking about an example that how to calculate the action priority. So let's start first with talking about the basic definition of FMEA. So when we talk about FMEA, basically it's a team-oriented, systematic, qualitative and analytical method to identify, analyze and mitigate all the technical risks which are related to the product design and manufacturing process design. One very important thing is that FMEA is before the event, not after the event. And there are 3 key things in the failure chain. When we talk about failure chain, it talks about failure mode, failure effect and failure cause. And both failure cause and failure effect, they are interrelated with failure mode. So unless and until we are identifying and linking the failure cause and effect with the failure mode, we will not be able to get the right answer. And if you are not able to get the right answer, whatever we are going to do next with respect to severity, occurrence and detection will not be able to get the right thing. So when we talk about severity, occurrence and detection, the ranking varies from 10 to 1 depending upon the requirement, and as per the table given in FMEA first edition, we need to decide that what should be the severity, occurrence and detection, and they will vary for DFMEA and PFMEA depending upon the requirement. And once we are clear about severity, occurrence and detection, one very important thing comes is that what next to be done based on the values that are coming with that. So here I'm going to talk about some key difference between RPN and action priority. So when we talk about RPN, basically the intent is that we are trying to see that based on the numbers or the rating that is coming in the form of severity, occurrence and detection, which automatically if the maximum value there will come up to be 1000 and the minimum will be 1, what needs to be with respect to that. So in RPN, equal weightage is given for severity, occurrence and detection, but RPN value is not a threshold for determining the actions, that if it is more than 100 only then we have to take action. If it is less than that, then there is no need for that. In general, when we are talking about RPN, the key focus is on severity if it is 9 and 10. And one very important thing is that severity cannot be reduced by anything else except by having any change in the design control or by any recommended action. And whenever the severity is less than 9, only in that case we should focus on occurrence and detection. And if we take 2 very simple examples that how to put focus when we talk about RPN. So say for example, there is an item A or example A where the severity is 9, occurrence is 2 and detection is 5. So the RPN comes out to be 90. Now take another example B where severity is 7, less than 9, occurrence is 4 and detection is 4. So here if you see, the RPN is coming out to be 112. So what should be our focus? Should we take an action where RPN is 90 or RPN is 112? So the logical answer is we need to take action where severity is 9 or 10. So even if the RPN is less than 100, still we need to take action with respect to that. Now talk about action priority, which broadly is quite similar to RPN, but there is some distinct difference in that. So first of all, when we talk by definition about action priority, so the key objective of action priority is to choose how to best prioritize the efforts to reduce the risk. And here again, there are 1000 combination of severity, occurrence and detection. The first focus is on severity, followed by occurrence and detection. And the main logic is failure prevention. Now, in this, there is a category which has been formed, three different categories which have been formed: high, medium and low. So they have tried to make it a little bit subjective rather than going only by the numbers. And in general, if you talk about the metrics, there is a combination of severity and occurrence, severity and detection, and occurrence and detection. So three different categories are there. And if you see, this action priority table is similar for DFMEA and PFMEA. But for monitoring and system response, MSR, for that FMEA, there is a different kind of action priority table which is being there. And it is strongly recommended by FMEA handbook that wherever severity is 9 and 10 with action priority of high and medium, so in that case there should be some review done by the top management, including some actions. Now talk specifically with respect to what is the difference between high priority, medium priority and low priority. So when we talk about high priority, so in general it is for review and action to either identify how to improve the prevention or detection, or to justify and document that why current controls are adequate. So first thing is very simple, that we have to take some action, but in case we are not taking any action, then in that case we need to justify that why we are not taking any action. This is very important here. Then second is about medium priority. When we talk about medium priority, again it is quite similar to high, that we have to either identify an appropriate action to improve prevention or detection, or in this case it is at the discretion of the organization to justify and document why controls are adequate. And then when we talk about the third, that is the low priority. So in this case it totally depends upon the organization to define whether they want to identify any actions to improve anything or not. Now let's take some example to understand this particular thing in much more detail. So as per example 1 or situation 1, the severity is 8, occurrence is 5 and detection is 9. So RPN comes out to be 360. In the second situation also RPN comes out to be 360, but the severity is 10, occurrence is 6 and detection is 6. And in situation 3, severity is 6, occurrence is 6 and detection is 10. The RPN is again coming to be 360. But if you look into the table, you realize that it will give different answers to that. In certain cases it will give a high priority, but in other cases it will give medium priority. So let's take one example and understand it. Now in this particular example, let's assume that the severity is 8, occurrence is 7 and detection is 6. So if you see the combination of all three, that will be showing that it is coming under high priority. So if it is coming under high priority, it means either we need to take some action to improve the prevention or detection, or we need to justify that why we don't need to take any action on that. So similarly, if you look into this particular table, it ranges from 10 to 1 for all three: severity, occurrence and detection. So in this particular case, rather than we are deciding as a CFT that whether we need to take action or not, whatever is a combination that is coming here, if it is coming high or medium, we need to take action in any case, and if not, we can justify that why we are not taking action. But if it is low, then it's up to us whether to take any action or we don't need to take any action. Now to talk about some of the key challenges that industry is facing with respect to that. So the first and the foremost most important challenge is that whenever we are deciding about severity, occurrence and detection rating, are we defining the real rating, or it is what we want to come finally on paper so that we can decide whether we need to take any action or not? That is something very important. And secondly, why there is so much of pressure that if it is coming under high priority or medium priority, then it is a pressure on the organization or on the CFT that they need to take some action. So that's why they always make sure that it should be in the low priority. And if we are not giving the right picture to the people or to the organization or the top management, I think we never can take the right answers or the right decision about that. So if I talk about summary, I talked about what is FMEA, what is failure chain, what are the ratings with respect to severity, occurrence and detection. Then I talked about key difference between RPN and action priority. Then I also took one example to make you understand that how we can calculate high priority, medium priority and low priority. And in the last, I talked about the key challenges that industry is facing with respect to action priority or RPN. Well, my next video will again be in the same series of FMEA, and it will be talking about the recommended action. That what is the difference between recommended action, what was stated in FMEA 4th edition and now in the FMEA handbook 1st edition by AIG and PDA. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedbacks from your side and they are helping me to understand what exactly you're looking for. So please do continue that. And in case you want to understand about this video a little bit more in detail, if you see there's a link below, if you click that, you'll find a blog there. And there you'll find this particular information in much more detail. And in case you're liking these kind of videos and blogs, you can always share with your friend. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavyamangla.com. Thank you.